Hola, buenos días. Para esta lección vamos a hablar de algo que es un poco complicado. Se llaman oraciones condicionales. We're going to look at something called conditional sentences. In order to do this, you first need to have some background information or some prior knowledge. So the things that you're going to want to be able to know in order to do these conditional sentences are A, the present tense, B, the future tense, C, the conditional, and what's next? D, the imperfect subjunctive. And I'll explain how these work together. If you don't know what some of those things are yet that I just mentioned, you need to go back and learn those before you do these. So, what these conditional sentences are, they're comprised of two things. They're comprised of a si clause or an if clause and a main clause. Remember that in Spanish, si without an accent mark means if. So there's two different types that we're going to look at. The first one will be comprised of the present tense and the future tense. So this is going to be saying things like, if I go to the store, I will buy this. Or if she watches television, she will get bored. So we've got present tense and the future tense together, and they can be flip-flopped. The si has to go with the present tense. That can't go with the future tense. So I could flip them though. So I could say she will get bored if she watches TV. So I can flip the if clause to the end and put the main clause in the beginning, or vice versa. I'll give you three examples right now of this, what I'm talking about. Here's the first one. Si yo tengo tiempo, iré también. So if I have time, I will go too. That's the si clause with the present tense, and then the iré is the future tense of ir, saying I will go. Next one. Si mi tía viene, tendremos la fiesta. So if my aunt comes, we will have the party. And then the last one, I'm going to flip the si clause and put it at the end. So it's going to be mis amigos disfrutarán si yo compro la comida. So my friends will have fun if I buy the food. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you about the second type of conditional sentence, or if sentence, if you want to call it that. These ones, you're going to have, again, the si clause and the main clause. The si clause, the si, the if, is going to go with the imperfect subjunctive, saying like, if things were this way, this would happen. And the would is the conditional tense. And again, those two things, the si clause and the conditional, can be flip-flopped. I'll give you examples right now. Here's the first one. Si yo fuera a Los Angeles, yo visitaría Disneyland. So if I went to Los Angeles, I would visit Disneyland. Next one. Si mi madre no fuera tan baja, yo sería más alto. So if my mom weren't so short, I would be taller. And the last one. Juan comería el taco si no fuera tan caro. Juan would eat the taco if it weren't so expensive. So I flipped on that one, the si to the end of the sentence, which is fine. Now, if you need to go back and look at these sentences again, by all means, start the video over and watch them again. Because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a total of 6 sentences, 3 for each of the 2 kinds of if clauses, or if sentences, and then I want to see if you can translate those into Spanish for me. So the first ones are going to be for the first option, when you use the present tense and the si with the present tense and the future tense. Those are the first 3 sentences. I'll put those on the screen in English. Why don't you pause the video, see if you can write them down, then I'll give you the answers, then I'll do the other 3. So here are the first 3 sentences. I will buy the milk if I go to the store. If you do the homework, you will get a good grade. And if we drink the water, we will be sick. So pause the video, see if you can do those really quick. Okay, so the first one, I will buy the milk if I go to the store, would be yo compraré la leche si yo voy a la tienda, or supermercado, mercado, whatever. Next one, if you do the homework, you will get a good grade. Si haces la tarea, sacarás una buena nota. Y finalmente, if we drink the water, we'll be sick. Si bebemos el agua, estaremos enfermos. And then the second option, I'm going to do those now for you. This is the si, if, with the conditional, and then you put start over here. Si with the imperfect subjunctive, and then the conditional is the other half. That's the main clause. So here's the sentences in English are, if I were an actress or actor, I would go to Hollywood. If you worked, you would save your money, and I wouldn't work if I had a lot of money. So go ahead and pause the video, see if you can write those out, and then you can see my answers. Okay, pues número 1, if I were an actor, I would go to Hollywood. Si yo fuera actor o actriz, yo iría a Hollywood, or yo iría para Hollywood. El 2, If you worked, you would save your money. Si trabajaras, guardarías su dinero, tu dinero. I wouldn't work if I had a lot of money. Yo no trabajaría si yo tuviera mucho dinero. So those are my 6 examples. This can become really complicated if you haven't learned the present tense, the future tense, the conditional, the imperfect subjunctive, and just putting them all together. Some of the main things to remember is that if you know you're doing the present and the future together, you keep in mind that the if is going to go with the present tense. And then if you're doing the imperfect subjunctive with the conditional, the if is going to go with the imperfect subjunctive. Don't put like the imperfect subjunctive with the present tense or with the future tense. Don't mix them up like that, and don't put the if with the wrong tense either. Hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, let me know, and I'll try and maybe explain it a different way, or just give you some more examples or what have you. Thanks for checking it out, and thumbs up. Thanks.